Chrysler and Sony have just announced new EV plans. Ford is ramping up its e-truck production, and Tesla charged into the year on the back of record sales. But it's not just about the big brands. Startup Udelv has unveiled a self-driving electric delivery vehicle. There it is. It says the transporter will be on the roads by 2023. Joining me now is Danielle Lowry, the CEO of Udelv. Great to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Allison. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about sort of some details about the transporter. How does this thing work? There's no steering wheel, there are no brake pads, and there are no people in it to drive it. It seems there's no room for anyone anyway.
Absolutely. We are reinventing delivery and revolutionizing automotive. Reinventing delivery by creating the first combination of hardware and software to automate the multi-stop delivery route, and revolutionizing automotive by creating the world's first vehicle without a cabin and without occupants capable of driving at highway speeds. So the transporter is trailblazing the transportation industry, and it works with a comprehensive and redundant suite of sensors, a powerful computer, high-resolution maps, and perception and planning algorithms. The entire system is a redundant system to ensure safety of the vehicle, its surroundings, and the other road agents.
And so let's say something, so it's a delivery vehicle, so then walk me through how much stuff this thing can carry and how the delivery process works.
Yes, this vehicle is the largest vehicle of its kind to date for the last and middle mile multi-stop delivery route. It can carry up to 2,000 pounds of cargo with what we call the U-Pod, which is the automated container on the flatbed of the vehicle, and 5,000 pounds of cargo without. So this vehicle is capable of making up to 80 stops per run. And there's sensors in its cargo space that allow for logic control of all the delivery tasks.
All right, so who is signing up to buy the transporter? Who is your typical client? And what does one transporter cost?
There are essentially three types of clients. The first type of client is what we call the FMCs, the fleet management companies. They essentially are the equivalent of Hertz or Avis, but for commercial fleets. They purchase vehicles in bulk and lease them back to large or small fleet operators. The second type of client are all the courier companies or the logistics companies, the carriers, et cetera, such as FedEx, OnTrack, LaserShip, et cetera. And the third type of client are the large and small fleet operators.
When are we going to see these things all over the place?
We are going to be starting with the first pilot units towards the end of this year, 2022, and then the start of production at the end of 2023, and wrapping up from there.
How competitive is this environment? Who are some of the competitors that come to mind?
You know, the environment has not been too competitive so far for a historical reason, which is that most of the industry in the autonomous vehicle space has been historically focused on robotaxis, passenger vehicles, and they sort of left delivery on the side as they were really focused on carrying passengers. So as a result, we do not have competition at this point, and namely not competition directly on the multi-stop delivery route.
Do you find that there are challenges with the transporter with city driving, like in places like New York City, Chicago, and San Francisco, as opposed to, let's say, Arizona or Florida? Here in the United States.
Those environments are much harder to tackle, and the good thing about delivery vehicles is that it can operate in less dense environments such as suburban areas, as you were mentioning, in Arizona, Texas, Florida, and some of those places, which are easier to handle. And I think that as delivery or autonomous vehicles in general tackle those areas first, they can gradually upgrade to more complex scenes, such as New York City or San Francisco. And as a matter of fact, I think that delivery vehicles are going to be the first large-scale application of autonomous vehicles in general. It's going to make the public understand what autonomous vehicles are, and it will pave the way to the expansion of autonomous vehicles in general.
Yeah, and as we see more autonomous vehicles on the road, we're getting safety advocates coming out and saying, as we have this shared space, some are saying, these companies like not yours specifically, but autonomous vehicle companies are using the public streets like a lab for self-driving experiments. I'm curious what the regulatory environment is for autonomous vehicles and what your thoughts are about more transparency about crash data.
I think that the industry in general is remarkably cautious about being safe, operating in a safe environment, and taking care of the public in general. I think that we all have a very high level of integrity as far as that's concerned, and are very, very careful about not hurting people. Over time, autonomous vehicles, the premise here is that it's going to make our roads much, much safer and improve or lower the number of incidents on the road by probably 2 orders of magnitude. And I think that the regulators understand that. We are working towards, getting favorable legislation in the United States as well in other places in the world. You do have states in the United States that are have different legislations in that respect. Some are more sort of liberal in that respect, such as some southern states like Arizona and Texas. Some others have a more regulatory environment like California, but it's getting there. And in the rest of the world, Germany is the first country in the world that has adopted a nationwide what we call L4, level 4 autonomy legislation.
Okay. All right, Daniel Lowry, CEO of Udelv. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Allison.